Yeah. WABC, and ladies and gentlemen, we are so pleased to have with us candidate for running for governor in Virginia. The eyes of the nation are upon this man, Glenn Youngkin. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm so happy to be with you. Thank you for having me. And Virginia's doing something special right now. We're coming together like never before, and are going to make a big statement for the future of Virginia.
Okay, I have to ask you this, and I want to hear everything that you have to say, because you have been really staying on message despite all of the distractions, despite all of the people that are trying to pull you off message, including former President Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden in town, but you still stayed on message. But yesterday, disgraceful, there were a bunch of people dressed up in white shirts and pants looking like supposedly the people out of Charlottesville with the tiki torches, meant to portray quote unquote white nationalist, whatever that means. And later it was learned that these are Democrat operatives. One was, but then today we learned that the Lincoln Project took responsibility for this. How do you respond to what happened, sir?
Well, first of all, Terry McAuliffe owns this. And this has just been reflective of the most divisive, disgusting campaign in Virginia history that he's been running. And for anybody to use white nationalism and racism as a campaign ploy is absolutely disgusting. And that's what they did. And that's why Virginians are rejecting this. They're tired of this ridiculousness in campaign politics that come from a 43-year politician. His playbook, he wrote this playbook. And as he's watching the sunset on his 43-year political career, he's willing to say and do anything. And the reality is, we're talking about the issues that are most important to all Virginians. Low taxes, the best jobs, the best schools, safe communities, a government that works for us. And this is why we're bringing together Virginians. We're uniting Virginia like never done before. I mean, not only have we brought together all Republicans, but we're bringing together Virginians. We're winning the independent vote by double digits. We've been endorsed by people that have never endorsed a Republican candidate. The Hampton Roads Black Caucus endorsed me. They endorsed Terry McAuliffe last time. This is about bringing Virginians together around a clear vision about where we're going, what we're going to do to make Virginia better. And this ridiculousness, this absolutely out of bounds behavior by my opponent is just, one, it's totally unacceptable. But I'll repeat again, to use something as abhorrent as white nationalism as a campaign ploy, he should literally feel like he owes all of Virginia an apology.
Okay, thank you so much for responding to that so clearly. Now let me ask you more on policy. One of the things that polling has shown, if it's to be believed, is that people concerned with the education of their children has risen to become one of the top 2 or 3 issues in the campaign. In fact, many people credit that with the remarkable turnaround in polling that you have. We've seen pictures coming out of Loudoun County. Most people know the story there, where a man's daughter was raped and sodomized in a girl's bathroom by a gender fluid person who would then learn had committed a similar act. The school board denied that it took place. Then you had President Obama come into town. President Obama said that these are made-up issues. How deeply are people in Virginia concerned about the education and safety of their children in the schools and what they're learning in the schools?
This is the single most important issue across Virginia right now. I don't know where it's polling. I'm just telling you, I hear it from voters, Republicans, Independents, Democrats, people from all walks of life, that they're worried about their children or their grandchildren or their nieces or their nephews. And yes, Loudoun County was ground zero, and those parents in Loudoun County have been standing up on behalf of their children since the beginning of this pandemic. Open our schools back up. Teach our children. And then But because the kids were at home, they got to see what was going on in the classroom. And they're saying, please teach our children how to think and stop teaching them what to think. And please give us visibility used in the classroom and what the curriculum is. And what they've been told over and over again is, no, we don't want to listen to what you have to say. In Virginia, in our law, it states that parents have a fundamental right to make decisions with regards to their children's education. And so this isn't one of these issues that's up for debate. And here we have my opponent who clearly spoke from his heart that he doesn't think parents should have a say in what's being taught in schools. And then when parents get upset, the FBI comes and tries to silence them. This is un-American. And this is why this issue of the future of our children's education is so much on the ballot right now. And I hear it from parents all over the country. Glenn, please stand up for our children too. Virginia gets to make a statement for the rights of parents and their kids' education. And that's why, our website basically is blowing up every day at youngkinforgovernor.com because people are coming in and being fully engaged in this race in Virginia from all over the country. This is our moment.
I was about to ask you that.
Discussion.
I was about to ask you that. What if people do want to get involved? What can they do? What can they do in the final days of the campaign? Because you're right. People are talking about this Virginia race. Some people are talking about it as the bellwether race that will decide what the Biden presidency is going to look like. What do people do in the New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey area that want to get more involved with what's happening in Virginia?
Well, first of all, if anybody has friends that live in Virginia, call them and tell them to go vote for us. And then second of all, get engaged on our website. There's just the encouragement that we have felt as people have come in, and we've had nearly 150,000 individual donations through our website. And that just means people are taking an ownership position and investing in what we're doing. And then finally, the prayers that people have been lifting it up with across this country have been amazing. So just the groundswell of support, not just from Virginians, but from the nation, has really been part of the momentum build that has changed this race from a campaign to a movement being led by Virginians, not Republicans, but Virginians, and by parents. This is why this is so important right now. The future of Virginia resides in our kids, and therefore we have to make sure that parents have a role in their education, to have the freedom to fundamentally decide what's best for our children and our families, but on top of that, prepare our kids for life that is a life in a growing economy with a career and an opportunity that I refer to as the Virginia Promise. And I want every kid in Virginia to be able to live their version of the Virginia Promise.
What is the Virginia Promise?
It's a Virginia that first has a cost of living and job market that provides opportunities. Not a dictated path that every kid has to go down, where our schools will, yes, prepare children to be college ready, but also career ready, so that they can have dreams about starting their own business or building part of a great company or in fact pursuing a dream that's to teach or to serve in law enforcement and want to go into this. It's a Virginia that opens up multiple pathways, and right now we have this big government dictated set of standards that not only are watering down the education system so that kids no longer feel like they can soar, they feel like they have to settle, but on top of that, it steals dreams. And we must not be a dream-stealing society. We have to be a society that opens up opportunity for our kids. That is the Virginia Promise, to be the best place in America to live and work and raise a family, and that's what we're going to go build together.
Now, let us say you are victorious. Election day is coming. The poll numbers are it's looking like this election is breaking in your favor. One can never tell what happens, but let's say you are victorious. What is the first few things that you want to do if you are successful and you are the next governor of the state of Virginia?
Well, first, polls don't win election, votes do. And so we are encouraging everybody to get out and vote. We basically have now 3 days to win this election, and we've got to get everybody out to vote. We've got to win a lieutenant governor's race. We've got to win an attorney general's race. We've got to win back our state House of Delegates, and we've got to win board of supervisors and city council races and school board races and sheriff races all over Virginia. So people got to get out to vote. And then on day one, we're going to work. We're going to get our taxes down. We're going to eliminate the grocery tax in Virginia. We're going to double everybody's standard deduction. We're going to start excluding up to $40,000 of our veterans' retirement. Virginia is only one of a handful of states that taxes our veterans' retirement. We need to say thank you. Then we have to go to work to make sure our schools are absolutely teaching excellence. And so we've got to raise standards and fund in for teacher salaries and charter school initiatives to provide choice. We've got to fund law enforcement. We have absolutely seen law enforcement depleted, and we have got to reinvest and make Virginia safe again. And finally, we got to get this economy growing. So we're going to cut regulations on day one. We're going to make sure everybody knows Virginia is open for business, and we have to build a pipeline of growing companies, new businesses that will be the growth engine of the future. We got a lot to do on day one, but we know exactly what we're going to do to get Virginia moving.
You are poised to perhaps be part of one of the biggest political upsets in American history. And people, again, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, where do they go if they want to be part or help your campaign?
Yeah, they can please come to our website at youngkin4governor.com. Of course, you can follow us on all the social media platforms at #GlennYoungkin. And that is such a humbling comment to hear. When I started this race, I had 2% name ID, and I think the poll had a 3% margin of error. And here we are marching to victory, bringing people together. And this is what the new look, I believe, of Virginia leaders should be. We should be talking about the most important things for Virginians and how do we unite people, not divide them in the old political rhetoric that has dominated politics, particularly that Terry McAuliffe just seems to peddle in a freewheeling fashion, irrespective of how Virginians feel about it. This is a new day for Virginia, and this is a new way for a governor to go serve Virginians, and I feel incredibly privileged to be in this position.
We're going to invite you back. I know after Election Day, you're going to have everybody trying to get at you, and likely so. But please, in the next week or two after the elections, regardless of how the elections come out, we'd like you back, if that's at all possible.
Well, thank you so much. We are going to win this because we just got so much momentum. We need to get everybody out to vote. And please join us at youngkin4governor.com. And thank you for having me on your show, and I hope you have a blessed day.